Conor McGregor is apparently a rapist, and it's sad to see because this guy used to be on top of the world. He was very inspirational, but he's kind of fallen from grace. But in this video, I want to talk about some life lessons we can learn from Conor McGregor so we don't fall into the same path as he did. And even if it's like true or not, like whether he did it or didn't do it, the fact that he's going out there and cheating on his wife while she's like literally 1 month away from giving birth is just disgusting, to be honest. But let's get right into the first life lesson we can learn from Conor McGregor, and that's gonna be now, I believe this sort of ideology comes from like drug dealers and people who sell drugs on the streets, because obviously they sell dangerous products, and if they start using it too much, they might start getting addicted and start overusing their own products, and then they could potentially overdose and basically essentially just off themselves. And I think that McGregor did this a little bit with his Proper 12. Well, not off himself, but he started getting a bit addicted to it. And he would always like feel the need to like constantly drink it, constantly talk about it. Like he was just like foaming at the mouth whenever he would see a bottle of Proper 12. And then that led to Conor start, wanting to try out new drugs. And apparently he did coke with this Nikita Hand person. And they were doing coke at like 7 a.m. in the morning, like on a Monday. It was absolutely unbelievable. Like, in broad daylight, they were snorting cocaine, and then under the influence of drugs, Conor allegedly did those things to Nikita Hand. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, because there are some bits of pieces of information that are a bit dodgy, but it seems like McGregor did something to her. Whether it was like maybe consensual or not, I don't know. But Conor definitely should not get high on his own supply. But moving on to the next life lesson we can learn from Conor McGregor, and that's going to be this is a quote I learned from Anthony Joshua, but I think that we can also learn it from Conor McGregor as well, because we all know how Conor McGregor came up. He was just this kid, right, who had a dream, who dreamed big, he believed in himself, and he reached a mountain that he wanted to reach, becoming a double champ. That was his major goal. But the problem is, after that, he stopped being like hungry. He just didn't seem like he had the same type of desire that he once had when he was at the bottom. Once he got to the top of the mountain, he saw other mountains, but he was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here for a while. I'm just going to celebrate everything I've accomplished, and that is perfectly fine. I mean, going from where he came from to where he was the double champ, that is crazy impressive, and that should definitely be celebrated. But I feel like in McGregor's case, he got too comfortable with all that celebration, and he kind of lost his way. And I think that part of that is kind of the UFC's fault, because I remember in like 2019, I'm pretty sure he was suspended because of the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight. But then in 2020, he was begging the UFC for a fight. He was even willing to fight Diego Sanchez, but the UFC was for some reason telling him, no, we're not going to give you a fight. And that dragged that up until the Dustin Poirier fight, and he got knocked out in that fight. But I feel like if the UFC had given him maybe an opportunity to fight, maybe he wouldn't have been like this complete like drophead. But also, after Conor became the champion, he started like comparing himself to Jesus.
Me and Jesus are cool. I'm cool with all the gods. Gods recognize gods.
But yeah, it seemed like obviously all that success maybe got a bit into his head. But anyway, moving on to the last life advice I have that we can learn from Conor McGregor, and that's going to be now, apparently this whole Nikita Hand situation started because apparently she invited Conor McGregor to a party, and then something must have happened at the party because McGregor invited her to his hotel, and then obviously everything that happened. But if McGregor just said no, if he was able to resist that, and if he wasn't under the influence of drugs, this whole thing could have probably been avoided and could have just been prevented if McGregor just said no.
When it comes to drugs and alcohol, just say no.
But that's all I got for the life lessons that we can learn from Conor McGregor. And hopefully he gets everything in order, because, you know, for a while I did think that he would come back and knock out Michael Chandler. But as time goes on, I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards Michael Chandler. I mean, we all know Michael Chandler has that Dana White privilege where he can grab the fence, he can hit you in the back of the head, he can put his fingers in your mouth like he did with Dustin Poirier. That is very odd. But yeah, he's got Donald Trump on his side. You know that Michael Chandler is going to eye-poke McGregor and then blast him for a huge right hand. And is McGregor's timing still going to be the same after all these years? I don't know. But hopefully McGregor gets his act together. But if I could send a message to Conor McGregor, I would say, if
you want forgiveness, get religion.
The double champ does what the fuck he wants!